Hey there, and welcome. Today, we're going to do something pretty cool. We're going to take a plain old spreadsheet and use a powerful tool called SPSS to make it tell us its hidden story. Let's dive right in. So, picture this. You've got a screen just packed with numbers. Participant IDs, heights, weights, you know the drill. Right now, it's just a list. It's raw data, sure, but without any context, it's totally meaningless. Our job today is to give these numbers a voice and let them tell their story. Okay, so here's our simple little data set. We've got an ID number, gender, height, and weight. Now, before we can even think about asking any questions, we have to define what these variables actually are. And trust me, this is the most important first step in any kind of analysis.
First up are what we call nominal variables. The easiest way to think of nominal is to think name. The numbers we're using here are just labels, they're not quantities. So that participant ID number, it's just a stand-in for a name. And gender, which we've coded with a 1 and a 2, is the same thing, just labels.
Actually, our gender variable is an even more specific type of nominal variable. It's called dichotomous. That di prefix just means two. And that's exactly what this is, a variable with only two possible categories. In our case, it's male or female. You're in one group or the other. Simple as that. Then we have our scale variables like height and weight. And here's the huge difference. Unlike those nominal variables, these numbers actually measure something. They're quantitative. 70 inches is actually genuinely more than 60 inches. The numbers have real meaning here. This quote right here gets to the absolute heart of it. This is the golden rule for nominal data. Just because we happen to code male as a 1 and female as a 2 doesn't mean anything about order or value. It's not a ranking. That number is just a placeholder, a label. We could have just as easily used A and B. For these variables, the number is only a name.
All right, now that we've got our data types sorted out, we can ask our first, most basic question. How many? It's that simple. How many males and how many females are actually in our sample? We're going to run what's called a frequency count.
And the great thing about SPSS is that this is super easy. All you do is click 3 times. You go to Analyze, then you click on Descriptive Statistics, and finally, you choose Frequencies. That's it. You're done. So, SPS spits out our answer, and we find out we have 5 males and 7 females, for a total of 12 people. But wait a second. What's this? For height, we only have 10 valid scores. That means we have 2 missing data points. This kind of thing happens all the time in the real world, so it's really important to know what to do about it. So, that brings us to a really important distinction you'll see in the output, a column called percent versus one called valid percent. The percent column calculates percentages based on the total sample, all 12 people, even those 2 who are missing data. But valid percent only uses the 10 people we actually have data for. Little pro tip, almost always, you're going to want to report the valid percent. It gives you the truest picture of the data you're actually working with.
You know, a table of numbers is a great start, but a lot of the time, a good chart can show us patterns we would totally miss otherwise. Visualizing the data is key, but, and this is a big but, you have to choose the right chart for the right type of data.
For our nominal data, like gender, a bar chart is absolutely perfect. I mean, look how clean that is. We've got 2 totally separate, distinct bars, one for male, one for female. You can see the distribution instantly. This is exactly what you want for categories. But watch what happens if we try to use that same bar chart for our scale variable, for height. Oh, it's a total mess, right? We've got a separate bar for every single height value. It's cluttered, it's impossible to read, and it tells us basically nothing about the overall pattern. Yeah, this just is not working. It's confusing, not clarifying at all, which of course leads you to ask the obvious question. Come on, there has to be a better way to do this, right? Of course there is, and the solution is the histogram. Now, the first thing you'll notice is that the bars are all touching each other. That's on purpose, and it's not just for looks. It's a signal that the data is on a continuous scale. That 62 inches flows right into 63. It's a spectrum, not a bunch of separate boxes. And would you look at the result? Now we can really see the shape of our data, where the heights are all clustered together and how they're distributed. That dotted line, by the way, is a normal curve, which shows what a perfect bell-shaped distribution looks like. Laying it over our data helps us see how our sample compares. This tells us so much more. So we've counted our categories, we've visualized our scale data, now we can level up. We can move beyond just looking at the pretty shapes and calculate some really powerful summary statistics to describe our data even better.
Now, SPS can give you a ton of these descriptive statistics, but let's just focus on 4 of the most important ones for now. The mean, which is just the average, the standard deviation, which tells you how spread out the scores are, and of course, the minimum and maximum values. Put them together, and these 4 numbers give you an amazing snapshot of your data.
So, what did the analysis tell us? Well, first, we got the central tendency. The average height, or the mean, for our whole group was 65.8 inches.
But you know, an average by itself doesn't tell the whole story. We also need to know the range. So we find that the tallest person in our sample was 70 inches,
while the shortest person was 62 inches. So now, just by looking at these 3 numbers, we have a much richer picture. We know the center and we know the boundaries of our data.
Okay, we've done a really good job describing our group as a whole, but now let's take it to the next level. This is where it gets really fun. What if we want to compare the subgroups? For instance, what's the average height for the males compared to the average height for the females?
And check this out. SPSS makes this so easy. This table literally splits our participants by gender. If you just look down that mean height column, you can see the whole story. The average for males was 68.3 inches, while for females, it was 63.3 inches. So, in our little sample, the males were, on average, 5 inches taller. And you can see at the bottom that the total average is still that same 65.8 inches we found before.
You know, we started with just a boring list of numbers, and we ended up actually comparing the average height between 2 groups. We learned how to define our data, how to count things, how to pick the right charts, and how to calculate the most important stats. So my question for you is, now that you have these tools, what other stories are just waiting to be uncovered in your own data?